Well, it's been almost a month. It's going to be a month, I think, on Saturday since the Raja Jackson attack on Psycho Sue. TMZ has reported today that he was arrested. Raja Jackson, who in pro MMA fights is 0-1, the son of former professional wrestler. He has done some pro wrestling in Japan, and he's done wrestling appearances in the US. He tried to go to Canada for a wrestling appearance, Rampage Jackson, but he was denied at the border due to past criminal charges. His son seems to be going down a similar path, but without the fighting talent, unless the guy is not expecting it. He's been arrested and taken into custody, booked on felony charges. Jail records show he's behind bars, being held on a $50,000 bond. That's chump change to Rampage Jackson with all his sponsors. And he was in the A-Team movie, so he's got to get residuals off of that. That was a pretty big movie. He's got other projects as well. So he gave about 23 unanswered blows to Psycho Stu, who wasn't expecting a real fight to occur because Raja Jackson had shaken hands with them after a misunderstanding earlier in the night due to Raja being brought into the dressing room where he shouldn't have been, really, with cameras filming people. So I'm happy to hear he is arrested. That'll be very good for the civil case. Yeah, someone says it only took about 4 weeks. About damn time. Jeremy says, "Free Raja." That's horrible. I mean, I'm very happy about it. I think this guy's a piece of shit, and if I was there, I would have kicked his ass, honestly, right in the back as soon as he started taking over the dressing room and acting like he's king of the dressing room when he's not even a wrestler. I'm glad that WWE dumped this shithole promotion that wants to let like marks into the dressing room, and then when someone confronts them that thinks they're a wrestler because they're filming in a dressing room without telling people, then the mark is allowed to get revenge. I mean, they lost their WWE affiliation due to that. The Doug Mallow saved Raja Jackson from possibly dying. I'll just get into some other wrestling news quickly here. Nothing is happening negative with The Rock's daughter regarding her comments. There's a lot of political comments going on right now, which I can't even vote here in the US, so I won't say anything about. But basically, The Rock owns a ton of stock in WWE. I think something like 65 million. So nothing's going to happen to him, to her. She's terrible. I will say this: she's a terrible performer, and does only have the job because of her dad. Tony Khan was asked about some of his wrestlers that are Democrats showing support lately for the Democratic cause, such as Brody King and Adam Page. And Khan says he encourages his wrestlers to be their true selves. Of course, Dynamite got its ass kicked again by NXT this week, 0.14 to 0.17. That's the go home show to their big pay-per-view. They only got a 0.14 rating. It came out today that Kira Hogan, who has not wrestled in AEW in a year and 8 months, she's been sitting there collecting pay for a year and 8 months, finally got released today. Now, I've heard the minimum pay in AEW is $300,000. I don't know if that's true. I know it's $350,000 in WWE. To pay no names, like she's a freaking no name. That much money, she's lucky. That's all I could say, because she's not going to get that on the Indies. Edge has been doing lots of appearances to promote this pay-per-view, and he's talking about John Cena in all of these appearances. So what is an AEW guy doing to get interest in their product? Talk about John Cena. Dave Bautista has confirmed that he was originally supposed to be John Cena's Peacemaker character, but he turned it down due to other commitments. So John Cena was the second choice. Speaking of people that sat home for a year or more doing nothing in AEW, Khan also confirmed today that Wardlow, who just returned from sitting at home doing nothing for so long, is injured. And actually, I've heard many people talk about this. One really bad thing about wrestling these days, you don't wrestle that much. AEW, um, there's 2 shows a week, and sometimes it's all done on the same taping, and you don't necessarily wrestle every show. It seems like there's 50 people that just sit at home getting paid, but like you don't wrestle consistently. So when you do wrestle, you get a lot of times hurt because you're out of practice. So that's bad for WWE too. WWE only does TV tapings now, so it's not necessarily a good thing. Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, I mean, people have been talking about if there's going to be backlash on wrestlers due to what happened to Kimmel, and it doesn't appear like it's going to happen. I was never familiar with Charlie Kirk, so all I can say is it's sad. It's sad that people have taken pleasure in it and are like defending his death. And again, that's all I can say about that. AEW, I would love an AEW job too, to just sit at home and get paid. I would use that money to fund other projects. Wardlow's worse than Abbott Johnson for getting injured. Well, you know what? The other thing is with injuries, you notice a lot of the big bodybuilder guys get injured a lot. Uh, I forget who the African American guy is in AEW, but he's coming off a couple injuries too. Completely jacked. I mean, I would highly suspect he's not. I've never heard of that AEW. I think they have the option to test, but I don't think they do because there's a lot of really jacked guys in there, and like I just notice a lot of times it's the jacked guys who get injured. Just running in, the arrest is long overdue. I agree. Is that my reason for stabbing another wrestler? Well, it was an accident. Yes, it was an accident because it was something that was planned by the company. I was given a spike by the company. The police came, investigated it, and ruled it was an accident. So if you want to say something different than the facts and you want to go on hearsay, the cops in Texas, where they have very strict cops, ruled it was an accident. And by the way, the guy had medical coverage and still collected over 10,000 in GoFundMe. And that night, he claimed he had like a $200 deductible. Somehow that changed to 10. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened in there. The promotion didn't have insurance or medical people, and I was the scapegoat of the night. And guess what? That promotion had 1 or 2 more shows and went out of business. So there you go. Will the Death Dealer be Cena's final match? No, but my movie Blood Hunter Thirst and Rage is coming out next month, so you'll get to see me in action in there. Let me know if you're not watching this live what you think about the arrest in the comments. I